Oh, hello. Before we begin, why don't I just put this very thick book I've been reading back on the shelf behind me. Hi, I'm Luke Giordano, president and founder of the Drexel football team. Pretty impressive. Yes, sorry. Okay. Tonight, I come to you on a somber note. We will be bidding farewell to our 2 senior members, and on this very somber occasion, if I were capable of producing tears outside of the context of masturbation, I might shed 1 or 2 tonight. Join with us as we bid a very fond farewell to Jarret Palmer and Michael Weinstein. Jarret Palmer. From his quirky Matthew Lesko-esque sense of fashion, to his ever-present gin glass, to his reputation as a terrible kisser, I myself have experienced all one man has to offer. But why don't we look closer, deeper into what has made the man, what has made Jarret Palmer? Let's start at the beginning. Jarret Palmer was born in America in the early 1980s. Jarret had a happy childhood in the beginning. He would run and play with his other friends, but once he entered the school years, he was bullied and turned very unhappy. I just assume this because it's what I would have done. Even from the early childhood days, Jarret expressed a great interest in film and directing, which led him in 1927 to direct the first talking picture, The Jazz Singer. Things quickly turned south when, in 1939, Jarret Palmer invaded Poland, which brings us where we are today. But don't just take it from me. Let's hear the rest of the team and what they have to say about Jarret Palmer.
Yeah, Jarret, he's a really good friend of mine. I actually met him this year through the Drexel Players, and you know, it's unfortunate his senior year was also the first time he did a show with us, and the first show we did was the Laramie Project, and I remember the first day he came into rehearsal, you know, he was a little drunk, and we were joking around, and I said a couple wrong things, and you know, he hit me, but you know, it's we don't really talk about it anymore. He took a couple more swings, but yeah, you're not gonna show him this, right? Okay. So anyway, the last show we just did was Love's Labor is Lost, and it was Shakespeare, and you know, Shakespeare was really famous for saying all the world's a stage, and Jarret liked to joke around with me and said, you know, all the world's a stage and you're just the whore trying to sleep with the director. I'm not really sure what that means, but I just hope he doesn't hit me for it.
Well, I remember one time when we were all at a party and we were getting really wasted and having a good time and just kind of being stupid, and Jarret started doing his Christopher Walken impression.
I've got this car, and I figured that you and I hop on in the passenger side.
And so I said to him, Jarret, shut up. It's really bad. And so then he splashed me with his drink and reached into his pocket and, you know, shink, pulled out his knife, and he stabbed me repeatedly. And that's why I've been in a wheelchair for the last 4 months. I can't feel my legs.
Well, I first met Jarret Palmer at New Student Orientation, and he was my orientation leader, so he was taking all the families around and showing the sights of Drexel University. So he decided to take people down to the dining hall, and when I was finishing up my lunch, my parents that were with me, they offered me some dessert, so because like they had a little dessert stand and like a chocolate fountain. So like they went over there, and I waited about 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and waited a whole half hour, and I haven't heard from them yet. So when I went over to the dessert cart, I saw their heads were dipped in the chocolate fountain, and they weren't moving.
Oh, hello. Unfortunately, Jarret isn't the only one leaving our midst. Yes, Michael Weinstein is our other senior who will be bidding us adieu, as the Germans say. Mike is a bit of an enigma. He's quite childlike and playful, but on the other hand, he's given serious consideration to banging your mother and your father. But I shouldn't be talking. We should really let Mike give us the real essence of Mike Weinstein in his own words. Mike Weinstein on intimacy. I'm sorry, fist pounding is a must. Mike Weinstein on being Mike Weinstein. That's my name. I'm drunk. Mike Weinstein on the female body. One thing I learned from Mardi Gras is that all women have ugly boobs until proven otherwise. Mike Weinstein on reproduction. I thought redheads don't have the ability to have babies. Mike Weinstein on Beckerman. God, I wish you were a real lobster. Mike Weinstein on, I'm not even sure what this is about. Let's bang it out against the wall. Don't be gross, that isn't a sexual innuendo. Who knows how to spell that? Also, let's do a crazy sex dance with each other. Again, don't be gross, that is just friendly talk. Truly words to live by. But let's see what the other team members have to say about Mike.
You know, the most memorable experience of me and Mike Weinstein is when we went to the Phillies game, and you know, he offered to buy me a hot dog, which was really nice of him because, you know, buying me food. But so I had to go to the bathroom, and when I went, he asked me what I wanted on my hot dog, and I said ketchup and a little bit of spicy mustard. So, you know, and then I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and it had pickle relish on it, and it was not a hot dog.
You know, Mike starts writing on my wall, and I'm like, oh, a big popular Jew. I would love to hang out with him. And so he writes on my wall, like, hey, there's gonna be this party at my place on Friday. And I was like, oh my God, a senior party, that'd be amazing. And so, you know, Friday night comes along, and I show up, and, you know, he opens up the door, and it's just Mike. And I'm like, hey, Mike, where is everybody else? And he's just like, oh, don't worry about it, they're coming later. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I woke up a couple hours later, and Mike was sitting next to me with his pants off.
I was raped by Michael Weinstein.
Oh, hello. Finally, I would like to extend my greatest thanks on the behalf of the Drexel football team to Jarret and Mike, and wish them the best of luck on their future endeavors. And to all of you, I say good night and enjoy the show.